Yeah, my bad. I think there's a lot of parameters that need to be put in place in order to make sure that this show goes smoothly, and that requires a lot of unmuting and and
High-end production, baby.
iron production. But we're famous now, man, because I was like I would say we were recognized at the Village Baseball Card. Some, as you know, some
Yes.
yeah, cardboard and cold ones.
I said that I texted or I chatted you in the comments and said, "Hey, someone recognized the show."
We're famous now.
Well,
Welcome, everybody.
typically, Sammy, it's, "Hey, you're that guy on with Sammy." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm that guy."
Welcome, everybody, to Cardboard and Cold Ones, episode number 25. We're almost halfway there as far as doing this show, which has come a long way. Um, I think I can't remember what the catchphrase is. We raise our glasses and cheers to the legends we admire on the cardboard we collect. That's it.
You got to memorize now. That's good.
hmm So my beer of choice tonight is a beer that Mookie's buddy Pete brought with him to a party that I had, and it's called Hell's Yeah. It's a
You guys
German
are
lager with a bison on it, and
fancy.
it's made by Five Dimes Brewery, which I think is a Jersey brewery. So
Okay.
you're drinking the
I'm
fancy beer.
I'm drinking the champagne of all beers. The ultimate high society beer, PBR, about $6 for a 6 pack of 16 ounces. Beautiful.
This one was free 99, but that's only because courtesy of Pete.
That's
Uh,
right.
let's see who's here. So we got Mike Good, who actually was here before Andrew, numero uno tonight, but Andrew is right behind him. We have Jim is here, Jacob is here, Peter B. We have Keith, Lonely Basement Baseball Cards. Pastor Craig is here, Gone Fishing. Peacemaker's here. They got beat up cards. I love the name. Jeremy is here. Colwyn slowly becoming one of my favorite weekly series. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Respect, man. Much respect. Mark Hoyle's here. He'll be, and then keep saying I'll be at Philly Saturday. I'll be at Philly tomorrow. Munson Trout Collector's here. John is here from 3D80s Kid. Warren D is here. Craig loves the music. We do too. The Carlisle is here. Pretty confident that Sammy Thunder is actually playing the guitar solo off screen to start the show. I would not take away anything from Alex Lifeson there. So
very underrated.
Steve with the PH is here. Little rush for Jason. Yes. Matt is here. Diamond Gems is here. Just catching up. Tony is here and Ken is here, and we are caught up. I don't want to keep our guest in the waiting room for that much longer. We have a great episode tonight. Ever since I met this guy at the National, with his story that he shared and his collecting preference and how he goes about collecting, it's a fascinating story, and I'm really pleased to bring him on now. That is our buddy Cory Smith of True Card Adventures.
Thank you, Sammy, Jason, for having me on. I appreciate you guys. Big admirers of you guys' work in this area of the hobby. Like I said, vintage is the heart and soul of the card hobby. It'll always come back here. It'll always come back.
That's right.
No shiny cards will be collected 50, 60 years from now. All this stuff we're part of right here in this hobby will always be collectible. So I'm glad to be here in this platform with you guys. Thanks for inviting me on.
Perfect.
I'm happy to have you here, and definitely want to. I mean, we met at the National, and you told me about your collecting of Jim Gilliam.
Yes.
And I was absolutely intrigued by the family connection that you have with Jim Gilliam, and I'd love for you to kind of go into that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's no problem, and it's interesting because I just got this book from Steve Ditmore. Fantastic individual. He put out this book early last month, Jim Gilliam, The Forgotten Dodger. And it's so funny. The story behind it and how I became a huge Jim Gilliam collector. I just got a new job, and one of the guys that I worked with was, talking to me about certain things like, hey, I collect baseball cards or sports cards and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, okay, really? So, I'm in my mid 30s now, and that was me in my youth, and I had never really thought about it. So, I spent some money and ordered some cards and was doing opening up packs of cards online, on live and stuff, and eventually one of my cousins reached out and was watching one of my videos and said, hey, we have a relative that used to play in the MLB. I was like, really? I've never heard of that before. Who was it? Like, yeah, he played with Jackie Robinson. It's like, okay, now you're piquing my interest. Okay. like like Leonardo DiCaprio in Inglorious Bastards. Now you had my attention. Now I'm intrigued. So come to find out, Jim Gilliam apparently was a distant relative. This is what my cousin said. And his father, who passed away 4 or 5 years ago, had a bunch of his stuff, and they always claimed him as a relative. And getting to know his background a little more, it's not far fetched that he is a distant relative. On my mother's side of the family, my grandmother, who is 92, still alive, her maiden name is Gilliam. She's from deep South Georgia, in that area, and Jim Gilliam was born in Nashville, Tennessee. So our Gilliam family is, from what I've known of them, going to family reunions over the last 20, 30 years of my life, they're spread out all over the South. So it's not too far fetched to think that he is a distant cousin. And I don't have a family tree or anything like that to really fully connect. Like, oh yeah, this is my eighth cousin removed, baby mama's sister, or something like that. I don't have anything like that. But I did a video chat with Steve Ditmore, the author of the book, last November, and he was telling me that Jim Gilliam's father passed away when he was younger, like before he was 1 years old. And really, from that point on, he really only had contact with his mother's side of the family. So I fully believe he is a relative, but until I can get deeper into it, maybe if I happen to meet a relative, because he still has children that are alive today, if I were ever able to meet him, I would love to just have a sit down conversation and just try to see if we can map out some things from his side of the family, from his father's side of the family to my mother's side, and see if we could connect. But I said this last year when talking with God dang, what can I think of? Jeremy and Leighton. Even if it comes out that Jim Gilliam and myself, we aren't related, just going on this journey of finding this phenomenal player, this guy that grew up in the hard Jim Crow South in the 1930s and 40s, and how he was able to just make it to the big leagues. And he is truly an American icon, and I'm so grateful and thankful that Steve Ditmore put the work into putting this book together. I can't wait to get into it. I'm in the middle of like 3 books right now. I'm trying to finish what books I have started before I can fully dive into this one. But man, it's the Jim Gilliam journey as a player was incredible, and my journey to collecting his cards and stuff has been an incredible journey for myself.
That's incredible. That's absolutely awesome. So now, is the goal, Cory, to own every Playing Days card of his, or are you past that already? Or
the goal is to get every Playing Days card, and I just put up my list here of everything. I have 40. I have over 40 cards. Let me say that. Some things aren't listed as cards and stuff, but I have over 40. I have every major common card you can find, and it's you guys had a gentleman on last week that dealt with a lot of oddball stuff, and look, these oddball cards, Sammy, with your Willie Mays collection, I mean, how hard was it to find that Coca-Cola Willie Mays card?
That was luck. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Luck.
Luck was walking around the National for 3 days looking for Swift Meats, not seeing one. I get home the very morning. This is on eBay.
Hold on. Sorry, let me bring you
You're
there.
good.
There we go.
Man, that is it's such a beloved set, that one.
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever purchased a card faster in my life.
Yeah.
Be damned what the price was. I think
Right.
this card right here may have cost me more than his rookie. And I have 2 rookies.
When it comes down to find me another one, you just have to suck it up and pay it, right?
Correct,
I mean,
because nowadays you don't know when they're going to pop up. You don't know how many of them actually exist in a good form to get graded. There's probably some guy that has a huge stash of these in a storage house in northern Alaska that hasn't been seen for 40 years.
Right.
So you just never know.
I will tell you this, Cory. I just received a text from someone here in the chat. There's a gentleman in the chat who was involved with genealogy for over 15 years, and he was actually a member of the National Genealogical Society. So maybe you might be able to hook up with him, and he can give you a hand in trying to trace some of that out for you if you wanted to.
Hey, we can cross paths and link up. I'm all for that.
Yeah. So the gentleman's name, it's actually Pastor Craig. I don't know if you follow him on YouTube.
I don't know. I follow a lot of people.
Okay.
So no offense if I don't follow you, Pastor Craig. Amen to you, brother. God bless.
Perfect. Yeah.
But,
So like maybe you guys will cross paths or connect through Sammy or myself, and maybe he can help you out.
I would appreciate that. And Jason, you asked, what am I looking to get every Playing Edge cards? Yes, I am. The main goal is the PSA set registry chase.
Right.
And I know Sammy doesn't do this, I don't believe, because he does a lot of SGC stuff. I don't know if you have done it, but PSA set registry is the devil. Flat out. The absolute devil. And like getting cards graded through PSA is such a long process. Like I sent cards off after the National. It was August. I didn't get those cards back until January.
Yep.
There were cards I sent off in September. I didn't get back until 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And it's just crazy. And then when you send stuff off, everything looks good and you get stuff back and like, hold on, what? You're talking about like this right here, my 1964 Wheaties stamp is hard. I can't really show it to you through the cover like that. But I got to take this back to the National and talk to them. But the Wheaties stamp right here.
Yep.
Okay. This is definitely something I need. And they said evidence of trend. I'm like, oh my God, you can't grade it authentic for me? Come on, PSA. Help me out here. So, what I ended up having to do, I found another one, bought it, and I'm waiting for that one to come online because I am currently at the moment, I tried to pull it up on my computer here, but it won't act right. I'm number 2 on his master set registry.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
And I'm number 2, and I also have this card right here, his 1959 LA Dodgers postcard. Kind of bring it in here a little bit for you guys to see.
That's a great looking postcard.
Yes. Pop 2, I think. None graded higher, PSA 7.
Wow.
So yeah, very happy with that one. And that was a card I've been waiting to get back for months and months and months. But the journey has really brought me into just how wild it was for cards back then. Like I said this before, like let's think about nowadays. How wild would it be, Sammy, to go to McDonald's, all right, and in your McDonald's meal, your value meal, you get, oh, and here's this special card with you, and it turns out to be a Shohei refractor.
Mhm.
That's what it's like now when I'm trying to think about it. They have stuff in uh, specialty meats, bread boxes,
Yep.
what is it? Cereal boxes, dog food, tobacco. Like that's
Hot dogs,
crazy.
tea caps, Slurpees. So
Yes.
I'm old enough to remember some of those times, Corey, buying the cereals for the cards and buying stuff for the cards.
Yeah, like
Convincing mom to buy it for me.
what is the other one I got here that's really crazy? Like you go on this journey of a player stuff in New York Journal American, Sammy.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I don't know why this keeps doing this.
It's all right.
Yeah. I try to pull comments up and it just keeps flipping me. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Journal American.
yeah.
This is a PSA 1.
Number means nothing. If it's
No.
it's beautiful, it's beautiful.
Correct. Correct.
That's why the registry is the devil, because then everyone's concerned with the number.
Exactly. Like, and I've seen great cards. I think a gentleman on your show last week had the 51 Willie Mays, and that is a beautiful card. A little off center, but man, you can't tell me that's not a 7 or 8 card just by looking at how great it is, how vibrant the colors and stuff like that is. You know.
Yeah.
Like that stuff right there is what I love most with this hobby. There we go. So, yeah, I have so much. Like one of the cards I was very very fortunate to get was his true rookie card, his minor league rookie card right here. It's a Parkhurst.
Yeah.
Yeah, Parkhurst Frost 8.
That's cool.
The back is really cool. I like the back as well.
Yeah.
The back has like it's
Like
yeah, it's
I don't know if it says "Hey kids," in actual it's a smart new plastic 6-shooter. Imagine that. Hey, we're going to give you guys a rookie baseball card with a gun on the back. Yeah.
right. And you hand enough in, you can get a fake gun.
Let's see here. Oh, one of my new favorites, and I just got this in. I want to eventually send this in to you, send me for your first best of the week video. But you know what? Since we're here, the OPG tattoo. Have you ever seen one of these?
it's
I have not.
well, you know, it's let me see it because Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities sent me a text. Let me see if this is the same one. Go show the back again. Show the snap. I'm just trying to compare. Yeah, Stuke has. I think Stuke has one as well. 64. Right.
This is 1960. Now, if there is a 64, that means I got to find it.
No, there's a top 64, but I guess the old Peachy did it. I guess they must have done it 4 years earlier.
Possibly. And I thought mine when I got it was a 64, I think. Did I list as 64? No, I listed as 1960, but I had mine as Topps tattoo number 19. And they don't even put the number on here. PSA just put OPG tattoos, Jim Gilliam, 1.5 grade. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Right. Whatever, right.
Yeah, I literally I found it online and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, I'm looking for this. Are you sure this is it? He's like, yeah, you can kind of like peek in between it and kind of see what it is. Like, fine, good, bought it, came in the mail, opened it up very carefully because I didn't want to mess with the wrapper. I still got the gum down. Actually, I probably got the gum in one of these packages here.
I have to ask, as I know you said you have some
Still
other.
got the gum.
I know you have some on your list. I'm gonna hopefully I don't butcher the name of the set. I don't know if it's Tolateros or Tolteros.
Yes,
Is that on your list, or do you have one of them?
Those are the 50-51 Tolateros, which is his Mexican League card, and his 2 Danias There's a 1950-51 Dania and a 51-52 Dania. Those are my Moby Dicks, my great whales. That
There's one from 48-49 where they misspell his last name.
and it's Toleteros too.
48-49 where they misspell it as Guillian, Guillian.
Thank you.
I'm on TCDB right now just because just tracking every card that they've come up with, and the 48-49, yeah, it says James Guillian.
Like Ozzy.
It's yeah, I'm trying to think, is it spelled the same way? It's Guillian.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing here. It's a cool looking card.
Yeah, it needs to be had.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, great. You just added another one for Cory.
And when you get this deep into the journey, you know, I don't mind hunting and searching for more. It's just like, wow, how many are there really out there?
Right.
And I've always wondered of these guys' cards, and once again, Sammy, you're a huge collector, Billy Mays stuff. Like, how many cards are there really out there? Like,
Of Mays, a bazillion.
Mays played longer than Jim, and Jim has. I mean, I'm probably would say Jim Gilliam has 50 individual cards, and I'm including the team baseball cards, the team photo pictures as well in that. So I just wonder, like, how many cards of there are there of some of these guys that played 15 to 20 years or longer in the league, and especially from 50s to 60s and 70s, where they start to do a whole lot more printing and having more ideas of stuff.
Well, I'd be willing to bet that Willie Mays is in probably 10 to 12 top sets or issues from 1964 alone. You know, that was the year where everything was coming out, right? So, I mean, if you took all of Willie Mays's base run and additional top issues items, he's probably over 50 in just the tops issue stuff. And I'm just talking tops.
Yep, that's him.
That's the card.
That's him.
Yeah,
that looks brutally tough to find, but very cool.
I have no idea, but I mean, it looks like, I mean, this is like Orlando territory, because
right.
This sort of stuff, man. And he's in the chat, so.
The crazy thing is, I've met a guy online, and I thought, you know, I was a pretty big Jim Gilliam collector, but because Jim Gilliam and Jackie Robinson are so intertwined and linked, see here if I can pull this, if I can find it. A couple of guys that collect Jackie, I've met, also collect Jim as well. And so I also, we were talking about type 1 photos. I don't think this is a type 1 photo. I think it's a reprint. But when I found this, it was like, once again, an instant snap by. Jackie and Jim Gilliam together. I think they're in, yeah, this is Brooklyn. So that was something I had to get. I had to get that one.
You'd be surprised. Well, once it starts to get into type 2 to type 4s, it can get very cheap. I mean, you know, type 1s are always the holy grail, original negative produced the year that the photo was taken. But type 2s are typically same negative in a certain amount of years out. Again, this is Rick Vintage Oddball cards territory. But from a little bit I learned, once you get into type 2s and 3s, they become pretty affordable. So I mean, they're out there.
They are out there. But back to the guy that I knew. I know. I don't know why I can't think of his name. It's I think it's Wayne Carruthers. He has like 3 of the Jim Gilliam cards I want. He has 3 of the Jim Gilliam cards I need. Let me say that. Not only do I want them, he has the 3 I need, and he won't move off of them. Which is, you know, it's fine. He says he wants to do the same thing I'm doing. Well, hats off to you, sir, because of I have some stuff that it's going to be hard for you to get to, but he's a good guy. And Sammy, you sent me on a journey for one guy as well. He had the Packer Bell card.
Yeah.
On Net 54. Let me tell you this story, okay? Because I had been on Net 54, but I had never made an official post. when Jeremy and Leighton were talking about it in one of their episodes from last year, I didn't know anything about it, so I get on there. Very nice forum. Created an account, but then I never do anything with it during the fall months. I'm fully on high school football. I run a high school football YouTube channel. I call our high school football games, home games on the broadcast. So that took up all my time. And Christmas came around. You sent me the link to the guys like, hey, do you have this? I'm like, At first I thought I did, but then I realized, no, that's not one I have. So I forgot about the guy and came back to that post, reached out to the guy. Guy still had it. Okay. So it's a 58 Packard Bell, and we're messaging back and forth. And Net 54 it's a very interesting forum, but they need to update. They need to do a lot of updates because it's not very modern friendly. Like it would have been great in like 2010, 2014 in that era, not in 2025. Especially when you're trying to use it on mobile.
You got to remember, a lot of the guys who are on there are older than me. So if you change it, they'll go into pure blown panic mode. And I'm 51.
And I believe that full heartedly. I'll be 37 in April, so I understand. I remember dial up modem
Right.
Yep.
at the same time. We think about how times have changed here. So I reach out to the guys like, yeah, I still have it. It's like, oh, great. And, we're messaging back and forth, but like I would get on there and message him and then get off. And then I work nights at my job, and then I don't get on for another day and a half. And he responded back, and it's back and forth. And it's like, hey, you know what? He gave me a price. Like, I'm fine with the price. Like, here, cool. I got some other things going. I can make the purchase from you next week, next Friday. Is that okay? And he comes back to me, and he was I don't know if he's a young guy, old guy, what. He was hot. He was like, man, usually people make deals on this chat, on this forum within an hour, 2 hours tops. We've been going about this for the last 3 or 4 days, and now you want to come back and make me wait a week for this? Man, you must be some type of scammer. You have no posts.
God.
You've been on here for 6 months and they've made no posts. You're a scammer. Like, hold on now, buddy. Please don't hurt me, okay? I'm a working man all my life, all right? But like I told her, like, hey, look, I'm sorry. I work nights. I get on here and I shoot you a message. If I don't remember, I don't remember. It is what it is. But I'm definitely not a scammer. Here's my Instagram page. Here's videos of me talking about, Jim Gilliam and my collection and stuff like that. And so we were able to work out things. So hopefully it's all good if he sees this. Thank you for, dealing with your boy. So I appreciate it. But, as I look back on it, I kind of understand why he thought I was a scammer. But, it is what it is.
Right,
if I'm
right.
scamming somebody for a Jim Gilliam card from 1958, that's one hell of a scam.
Do you have the card?
Not yet. Not yet.
It's coming?
It's coming, yes.
That's great, man. I mean, I'm sorry that you had to go through a bunch of hurdles, but it sounds like everything, as you mentioned, worked out.
Yeah.
Mike Good in the chat has a question. I mean, you have a list. You have a list of what things you want. Do you have your eyes set on one card, or is it whatever comes up that you don't have?
Mainly it's whatever I don't have, because I literally have everything. Like I can go from.
Yeah, please show cards.
Yeah, I can. 54 tops, got it. Okay, 54 Bowman, got it. 54 Red Heart, got it. 55 Gilliam, Bowman. This Bowman? Yeah, Bowman, got it. What else is here? A 55 tops, got it. 55 Bowman, 2, all right, got it. 55 All-American Sports Club, 1.
Just when you show them, just hold them there for a few seconds so that people can enjoy them.
Like, I have.
He's in twice.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Did not know that originally, though. Did not know that originally. Came across one, saw another one, instant bot. That stuff, like I got this graded with STC. Okay. This was a card I got at the 2023 National. And when I got it, it took me it took me a full day to find this card. And by the time I found it, the night was almost over. I was like, all right, you know what? I paid like $80. Sent it to STC. Last year, the card show came back authentic because of a stain on the back. Like somebody wrote it on it with marker.
That's kind of okay. I mean, it probably should
the journey that went for me to get this card, I'll never forget. It'll never be out of my possession. But then I recognized, hold on, I have everything in the basic set for his PSA set registry. So what do you do when you have? Do I crack this open and send to PSA? No, you buy a second one.
Right.
So I have a second one.
I love it.
I have. What is this here? Hold on. I got this 1964, which is probably one of my favorite. The 64 top set is one of my favorite sets. Okay. I have this one. I got it at the 2023 National. And I got this one that I also got at the 2023 National that was 2 booths over for $1 cheaper.
Now, does he have any Venezuelan cards?
That's what I was just looking up. I'm literally looking at the list right now, trying to find where the Venezuelans are.
Yeah, the 64 Veni, maybe the 60 Veni.
I gotta tell you, man, like I'm looking at this list. He's got so many cards. Like there's a really cool looking one called the 1960 Union Oil 76 meet. Do you have that booklet?
It's not a card. It is a booklet. And so, yes, I have the, let's see here. I think this is 60.
I love that. I just love stuff like that.
And this is 61.
That's cool.
So, hold on. You said
so sick.
No, you said Union Oil. My fault. This is the Dodger family. Okay. So
that's what it says. That the Union Oil 76 meet the Dodger family.
Okay, yeah, that's it then. Then there is this right here. I forget what this is called.
Thank God I have the TCDB to assist. I mean, it's incredible. J Publishing, Danny Goodman photo cards. I mean, there's so many stuff.
The J Publishing one is one of my favorites. And I have 61 and 62 here.
There you go.
And these will be going off to PSA as well, because once again, set registry is the devil. Here's the one I'm most upset about. The 1957, and this is probably the one I'll have to baby the most, because as you see there, you see the hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Brooklyn. All right.
Yeah.
And do you see? Is it easy to see what's there on right?
What am I looking for?
Right here.
Oh, is that
autograph?
Is it autographed or is it okay?
Autograph.
Simile.
An autograph.
That's so cool.
PSA sent this back. They said they couldn't authenticate it.
Why?
They don't tell you. They just tell you that can't authenticate.
So I mean, I guess you could bring that to JSA to get that authenticated if you wanted to.
That will definitely be something I'll do, and I still had the gentleman's, and that's another great. Man, look, I have stories and stories and stories for days. So, okay, so I'm at PSA, and I just happened to stumble across a guy that had these at the National from this past year.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting in line at PSA, and you know how long that line is. But I was like, all right, I don't care. Let's get this done. So I eventually get there, and the guy was like, oh, these oversized, these are, he said these are pictures. It's like, hold on, I thought they were cards. It's like, no, they're pictures. And the guy's like, here, you need to go over here, take these forms, and go over here and fill them out. It's like, oh my God, paper forms. I'm like, you know what? Okay. So I literally walk, and last year's National, if you remember, across from there was like, it was
It's right by James. James's booth was right there.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
James's booth was right there.
Yeah.
And they had this beautiful layout of all these great type 1 pitchers spread out.
Yeah.
Yep.
The best Josh Gibson pitcher in existence.
Yeah. I know what booth you're talking about.
And the dude said that pitcher is probably worth $500,000.
Jeez.
And I believed it. It was a beautiful picture. So I'm sitting there. It's like I said, hey, one of you guys, I have these pictures right here, and can you help me out? He comes over and looks at him like, that's not a picture. It's like, what are you talking about? Listen, it's a picture. He's like, no. He pulls out this digital magnifying glass loom thing. He's like, here, look, you can see it. This is actually printed. You can see the print dots on here. It's like, I'll be damned. This really is a printed picture or a printed card. So basically that's what it is. It's a printed card. So that's when he's like, oh, so you collect Jim Gilliam? Like, yes, Jim Gilliam. So it's like, here, I have this. And he pulls out the autographed Jim Gilliam. This is my first and only autographed Jim Gilliam card that I have. And it was, I mean, he worked the deal for me for $100. I saw 2 other autographed Jim Gilliam cards at the National. One guy wanted like $250, $300. Another guy wanted close to $400.
Yeah.
And I one day will get one of those cards just because it's you gotta get an autographed card. Like, do you have any autographed Willie Mays?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of things that are autographed by him. I'm not a huge autograph person. I don't know if I have it at arm's length. Oh, I do have it at arm's length. I have this that my dad got me, but unfortunately it suffered like water, got water damage on it.
I get that.
But
Jason, who do you collect? I'm sorry.
I collect everybody and everything. So I am not a player collector necessarily. I'm White Sox and a Cardinals fan, so I lean towards those 2 teams. But I collect everything from pre-war to 2025. So I'm a broad collector, and other sports. And I must say, I'm a little sidetracked. I don't want to take the train off the rails, but I do see the chair you're sitting in happens to be a Bears chair.
Yes.
Are you a Bears fan?
Yes. Devin Hester's kickoff return for a touchdown was the greatest 15 seconds of my life.
Fantastic.
I was actually at the game with my father. It's very funny because I live in Indianapolis.
Right.
So, okay.
You were there. That's where it was at.
the Colts and Bears face each other in Miami. My grandmother.
I'm sorry, Miami. Yeah, you're right.
My grandmother was a at this time she had retired a few years back from being a travel agent. So she still had connections in that industry, in that world. So she was able to get me and my father on a tour, or not a tour, but dang it. It was a whole group of Colts fans from Indy that went down there. I'm the only Bears fan on the plane. The only Bears fan on the plane. But it was a great 2-3 days being down there. The Super Bowl it wasn't the greatest time, but overall it was great. Cory, so they collect vintage Bears players as well. I'm working on getting started on a vintage Walter Payton, all Walter Payton's playing days cards. That's something I want to do.
All right, then. Are you going to Strongsville, Cory?
No, I need to. I know Sammy talked to me about going to that last year. Right now, my goal is for being in Indianapolis. We have the Midwest Monster, which is May, I think. I can't remember if it's the beginning of May or the middle of May, but it's May, and then the National. I just actually booked my hotel for the National last night, so got a great deal.
Well, if you're here for the National, I might have some Walter Payton stuff for you. So
I love to hear
that. I'm a diehard Bears fan. You might not want to deal with Pastor Craig now because he's a Packer fan. So he was going to help you out, but once he hears you're a Bears fan, maybe it'll be more difficult.
You know what? I know we jumped over here, Bears, and Jim Gilliam and everything, but I was very happy with how the season went, and then the Commanders game happened, and then the score fell out.
Yeah, don't even tell me about it.
But you know what? As bad as that is, and I don't know if baseball collector Mike is here, and I don't know if he follows the NBA at all, but I know he's in Dallas.
Right.
Man, what a
I am
mess.
I said on the show at the beginning before we got started, I am a Edmonton Oilers fan. All right. So I'm also a Dallas Mavericks fan. So let's go on this journey with me, okay? Last playoff was great for me. I had my favorite hockey team in the Stanley Cup final. I had my favorite basketball team in the NBA finals. And what did both of them do? Started off 0-3. Okay. Luckily, the Oilers made it very respectable and, forced a game 7, even though we didn't come out victorious. Would have been the greatest reverse sweep in sports history, but it is what it is. But my Mavericks have been cursed.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
so I'm not considering myself a Mavericks fan anymore. I am now a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I'm ready for the game to come on in about an hour or so. It's hurt me so bad, guys. It's hurt me so bad.
So you follow Luca then? You're following Luca based on the fact that he's in LA?
That betrayal is so deep. I don't know if either you gentlemen are married. I think, Sammy, you are.
I am.
That kind of betrayal ends in divorce 100 out of 100 times. Like, you cannot do this stuff to a fan base that's been riding with this team for so long and expect them to stay loyal and expect them to still watch. No.
So then how are you a
Burn
Bears
it
fan?
Look, after we got rid of Justin Fields, I was ready to not care. But
Yep.
the Luka thing is it was so hard for me, and mainly because of this. I've been a huge Jason Kidd fan for forever. My first NBA jersey was Jason Kidd's rookie jersey from both my friends don't watch anymore. Yeah, it's great. It's great for the health. Don't watch. My first NBA jersey was a Jason Kidd rookie jersey, and I have a picture of me in Germany in the '90s. My grandmother and my grandfather, when he was alive at the time, we went on a tour of Europe for like 10 days. We went all over Europe, went Amsterdam, Paris, Switzerland, London, and we're in Germany on this Rhine-Bolt River tour, all right? And my grandmother took a picture of me that's laid back on this boat cruise wearing my Jason Kidd Mavericks jersey. I've been a fan of his for over 20 years. And so I took it upon myself when I got into this hobby. I wanted to collect Jordan cards. Jordan cards can be fairly expensive, as we all know, especially the ones that people want. It's like, you know what? All these great Jordan cards or other players in these sets I can get. Let me see if I can get some Jason Kidd cards.
Yep.
And so I started collecting Jason Kidd 90s cards. I have a lot of Dallas Mavericks cards. I have a lot of Phoenix Suns cards and stuff. I've been a huge collector of his. And it's so funny. Before the trade went down, I had just bought a 96-97 Atomic Refractors card on PWCC or Fanatics Collect and was happy with it. The trade happened. I'm just disgusted by it because it was like, oh, well, Jason Kidd didn't know. You mean to tell me your GM is going to trade your best player and you don't know nothing about it? And there's a reason how, and this is how I know Jason Kidd knew. And like Luka last week when he beat the Mavericks, he congratulated and talked to all of his former teammates. He talked to a very few of the coaches. He didn't say a word.
Right.
Jason Kidd.
I saw that.
Say a word.
I actually saw that.
Didn't say a word. So that right there told me all I know. There's 2 Jason Kidd cards I'm going to keep. One because it's probably the most extreme rarest card I have. It's the Fusion Titanium Gold. I don't have it up here with me, but it's like, if it was a Jordan card, it would be worth $20,000.
Yep.
And a 95 gold medallion.
Okay, great card.
Yes.
Great card.
So the
Flare
95
gold flare.
The 95 gold medallion set is a set I'm looking to build fully of the NBA with.
Yeah, I'm a big Jordan collector as well. So I don't have a lot of his, upper echelon 90s inserts, but I probably have about 200 or 300 of his cards, and a lot of it is the cheaper stuff. But
I would like to get a rookie. I just like, God dang, man.
I will. I'll have. I want. That'll be a priority of mine over the next several years. I know we shifted, Sammy. I apologize. Somehow we always shifted to
Okay. I mean,
basketball.
I just wanted to make sure I got in. Cory, you run most of your social media is going to be focused on Instagram, right? Because I don't think you're running a YouTube channel. At least I don't think you have one.
No, and because of how busy my schedule is, like this is, and you know, you want to have me on last week. So here's my work schedule. Okay, this is considered my long week. So I work nights, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Wow.
And I work that job every week. Every week is different. So this week is my long week. I worked Monday and Tuesday night. I go in tomorrow and I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. I'm off Monday and Tuesday, and then I work Wednesday and Thursday, and then I'm off again for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we start the process all over again.
Man.
Wow.
Talk about. You mentioned earlier like working man. That is what it is, man.
Yep.
And
I do want to make sure that I share your Instagram page, so I'm going to do that right now.
oh yeah, True Card Adventures and my the YouTube channel I do during the season is called True Warrior Football, high school football team here in Central Indiana. One of the more prestigious high school football programs in the entire Midwest. We have been very successful. We have we just sent a guy to Notre Dame. We just sent a guy to LSU. We got a guy at Miami of Ohio. We have a guy that just flipped from Louisville to IU. And
who is that? Who flipped from Louisville? I'm a Louisville.
From Louisville to IU is a guy by the name of Tyrone Burris, a defensive end.
Okay.
Yeah, he's I think he was a 3-star or 4-star. He's very, very good. The guy that we have now that's returning, Jeremy Finch Jr. His father ended up playing at Florida for a season under Urban Meyer, and he is every bit as destructive of a defensive lineman as I've ever seen.
I absolutely love high school football because it's the purest the game is ever going to be. And my daughters are both. Well, my oldest she's graduated from Louisville, and then she got her master's, and now she's working on her doctorate. But my youngest is going to graduate this year from the University of Kansas. But when they were in high school, I went to every single game. I absolutely loved it. They won state. My youngest daughter, she was a freshman at Kansas, and that's the year that their high school won state here in Illinois. And football isn't as big in Illinois. Illinois is more of a basketball state. But it's still a good program, very good program.
We faced a few schools from Illinois, we faced East St. Louis once, my senior year in 2005. And that was, I think East St. Louis may have won state that year. We ended up winning. My senior year was the third of 4 straight state championship years from 03 to 06.
Wow.
And and the East St. Louis game from that year was a final score of 70-50.
It's just a lot of defense.
Yeah, man, it was a game. The game didn't start until like 10:30 at night because there were like 3 games before us.
Right.
We played Maine South as well.
Oh yeah, great program.
I think we won like 60-3. No, 60-13. That was they had some good talent the year before, but they were depleted, and we were at the height of our powers there.
Sure.
But we faced Jeremiah Love and Christian Brothers, and he was just as spectacular as he was for Notre Dame in that playoff run. Just now, he was just as spectacular in high school. Cardell Jones, when he was at Cleveland Glenville, we faced him, and he led a spectacular last possession drive to beat us. It was like 17-10 or something like that, or 17-13 final score. And then he went off to have the career he had at Ohio State. We faced some very good teams. We had some great teams ourselves. David Bell, who was a star wide receiver for Purdue for a couple of years, was from our school. He's with the Browns now. Hopefully he gets brought back. He had an injury that kept him out of the season. But yeah, we've been very fortunate to have some great talent at the next level. And my YouTube channel, True Warrior Football, is where I do a lot of my work in the off season and don't really do too much just or during the season. Don't really do too much in the off season right now. But I'm working to put out more content. It's just, man, when you're working so much, it's just hard to do stuff, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Andrew, I had a question. When did Cory first become a card collector? Was Jim Gilliam the first player collected, or no? You mentioned Jason Kidd, so I mean, I imagine, you know.
I started in, let's say I started 2023. So this is barely 2 years in. And I would say either Jason Kidd or Jim Gilliam were my two first. My first Jim Gilliam card I just found, my 1960 Jim Gilliam right here. This
Great
is
set.
PSA 3, yes. And that's one thing that because as I'm going through the national here and I'm getting all these cards that I don't have and I'm checking stuff off the list, you have to wonder, like, where do I go from here? Because eventually, if I do get everything, if I do get the everything, complete the top or complete the master set or whatever, where does one go?
Do you go into the? I'm just looking at the TCDB list right now. So there's also the coins. Have you stepped into that?
I've seen one coin online, and it was, I think it ended up selling for $350.
Wow.
Yeah, there's certain coins that just go for big money. Like I'm looking at the 1962 Salada or
Salada. Yeah, I've got
Salada coin and the armor coin.
Guys, I'm not sure about these.
62 was the plastic back and 63 was the metal back, if I'm getting my years straight. It might be 63, 64. I'm mixing, but the first year of the Salada, it was a T by Junket and Company.
I know nothing about those because I've never seen them. Nobody, and that's the thing. Like, I collect such a niche player,
right?
Yeah. Like you and it makes me wonder: do I need to go to the West Coast to find some of his stuff? Because here in the Midwest, only certain people aren't going to bring things that they don't think they can sell to these card shows.
Right.
If you aren't selling online, then you're probably only going to sell in local shows in California, maybe Arizona, maybe Vegas. But on the West Coast, I'm pretty sure I would have a better time finding stuff because that's where he played majority of his ball.
He's got a ton of the 55 armor coins.
Yeah, so here's an armor coin. Does it look like a plastic coin? It's really tough to even see. This is Nellie Fox.
Yeah.
This is an Armor Swift, and then this is a Salada Junket. This is the metal back, and then there's also plastic backs as well. So,
how hard was it for you to get those?
Piece of cake. They were like $4 or $5. They were like $4 or $5 online. So I literally bought this one, I think, for $3. I think it's a 1960 Armor Swift Nellie Fox. So
all right, the dude, 62 Sharif points. Yes, let me get on the good old eBay.
Yeah, if he's got the coins, they're not drastically expensive.
I will say one thing: Matt is a wealth of knowledge just when it comes like a number of things. But
there you go. 62 Sheriff coin, $15 on eBay right now. So.
Yeah, this would be the first time that if that somebody potentially
makes a purchase
while we're on the live stream, which would be epic. I will say that much. But yeah, we lost Cory for a second.
No, yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Do your thing. If you're gonna buy,
buy. No, we're only joking.
I see this legendary coin set, but I don't think that's it.
The Sheriff coin is a Canadian issue, according to Matt. Yeah, the armor, and Mark Hoyle is correct. The armor coins come in multiple colors. So I have the red,
and
you can get the blue.
He's in all of them. It seems.
Yeah. I mean, you can get 5 colors of the same year.
No, you're good, man. I think this is great.
Found it. Bye now.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, Matt's the man. Lots of knowledge. Absolutely.
Appreciate it, Matt. Appreciate it.
$15 and maybe 5 shipping. Was that $20? And tax, I guess, a little like it's not that bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Like less than $20. So basically less than what yeah, definitely less than what me and my wife go to Five Guys and spend money on.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, the when I get through all of this, I want to do the 64 set. I want to do the 60 set. And I want to do, and this was probably going to be the most expensive one. For sure, it's going to be the most expensive one. Want to take a guess? Which year?
56.
God dang, man, you are good. You are good. You are good.
So I
You
will.
are good.
That's why Jason is here.
I don't have any Jim Gilliam cards, but I do have all of his teammates from the 60 set.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the Hall of Fame run. So there's your Gil Hodges.
Yep.
You got your Duke Schneider.
Uh-huh.
You got your Pee Wee Reese.
Yep.
I still need the Jackie, but I have the 55 Jackie. So
Nice.
I thought since we were doing Jim, I'd bust out all of his teammates. I got a bunch of the 55 Bowmans, Pee Wee Reese, Campanella. Here's a 57 Hodges. Just beautiful cards.
57 Jim Gilliam. Here's the one, and there are some cards out there that I generally, I get them because I had to get them, but there's like, they're just, I don't want to say they're ugly cards, there's ugly designs of cards. Like, I do not like 58.
See, I love it. A lot of people don't like it, Cory. You're not alone there. I love it. I love it.
I don't like 59. That seems weird as well.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, I love the pink back too. Him and Gibson sharing that kind of Pepto back.
Do you have the 1955 doubleheader?
55 doubleheader, you ask?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
I don't know. Something about those cards I really like.
PSA 1.
I wish May. I mean, it would have been great if Mays was in that set, but
Jackie's the big card in that set.
And which is crazy. It's like, how do they choose and decide what player goes into which set and which doesn't? That's the thing that bothers me with modern cards from the 90s. Where I'm looking like a guy like Jason Kidd should be in some sets. He's an all-star. He was a guy that was a really great player early on in his career, and yet he's not in sets he should be, and other players that weren't nearly as good as he was are. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, he was an early round draft pick too. He came out of California. He was a stud point guard, man.
Yes.
I mean, he was top notch in the NBA. He really was.
That he was. Him and Grant Hill were co-rookie of the years. Probably the last co-rookie of the year as well.
So what did we got? Gilliam has some very cool
pinback buttons.
Pinback buttons. The journey continues. Welcome to the channel.
The journey continues. And like, I have a Zion case here, and it's a 2-row Zion case. One row is full of Gilliam.
Right.
Yeah.
And like my other row are my other, like my Jordan cards, I'm in the middle of, what is this here? I love Wayne Gretzky, of course. So I have a bunch of his, this is 82 OPT. I have a bunch of his stuff. I want to get his rookie card as well.
OPT or Tops?
Whatever I can afford. I would love the OPT. I will take a Tops if it's under 800. I will take it.
What Jordans do you have? Because you've got my interest piqued. Show some Jordan. Sammy's already shaking his head no.
Well, I'm just looking at the Gilliam list, man.
What's that?
I'm looking at the Gilliam list, but as per usual, this is the live stream that goes off the rails.
Right. Right. He said he had Jordans.
You get a bunch of guys talking cards and drinking. What do you expect?
That's right. That's what happens.
Let's see here. This is Inside Out Michael Jordan. Not that
beautiful card.
Nice. This one, I'm looking to get the other 2 cards that go with it.
Oh, so you have some of the nicer inserts. Those are nice inserts.
Yeah, the Championship All Millennium.
Yeah.
Then here, hold on here. I'm a big proponent of tag as well. So
I like their slabs.
Yes,
like
their slabs are super, super nice.
Yeah.
I took this to tag the end to end,
Yeah, that's cool.
8.5, the upper deck hollow in an
Yeah,
8.
you got the nice inserts.
The top 10. And then I found stumbled across this Michael's top profile here.
I actually have that. I have that as well. That came out of the top set, and shoot, I can't even remember. Is Bill Walton in the corner?
No, David Robinson is.
Oh, David Robinson's in the corner. Okay.
96 is the date.
Okay.
A base 90 Michael Jordan Fleer.
Great card.
Probably my favorite base Jordan.
Great card.
Then the 95 gold medallion.
Yeah, it's beautiful. If you like the Flair, you should check out his 88 All-Star at the Slam Dunk Contest.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's a great card.
And then
Not
this
away from the Jordans, but breaking news. Matt just sent me a text message that I feel like should be shared right now. There is currently a Gilliam going for $37.46 or best offer, and it's down 25%. And it ends in 5 hours and 54 minutes. So you have an opportunity there.
Is that the Salata?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 63 plastic bag.
62
plastic back. I'm sorry, 62 plastic back.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it, Matt.
Awesome. I love them. I think they're phenomenal. So basically, that's the same one I just showed you, Nelly, with the plastic or Aparicio.
Yeah, how am I having trouble finding it here?
I can also share it with you afterwards if you want.
Yes, please do. If I don't find it within the next 5 seconds here.
Yeah, Matt is getting expensive.
1962 Salata Jim Gilliam.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm looking for a Morel Meats card as well, and he's not in every Morel Meats that they produce for the Dodgers. And a part of me thinks it's because he wasn't on the team. And I guess from year to year, and Steve Ditmore told me from year to year, he was always in trade rumors. He wasn't signed until late. And so they would do a lot of promotional stuff, and he wasn't there. So, like 59 Morel Meats is what I'm looking for. He's in none of the other Morel Meats that they do from 60, 61, 62. And like every time I get an update on my email, because that's one of the things I'm always looking for, Morel Meats card, Morel Meats. So I'm going to look, and John Roseboro, or is it Roseboro, always comes up, and I always think like, nope, that's not Jim. I hate to be that guy thinking like every black player for the Dodgers in 1950s and 1960s is not Jim Gilliam. So I gotta be careful here with what I'm trying to purchase. But you know, it's really interesting, man. My probably most expensive card that I have in my hobby right here.
It's a great set.
Yes.
I ripped tons of those packs. I've got a couple of the Masters and Mentors, and Creators was another one, and Ball Hawkers or Ball Hawks.
Yeah, 97, 98 was
Finest,
just,
right?
Yes, 97, 98 finest. There were certain things, and this get back to this what we're talking about here. What we had 20, 30 years ago, and I hate to be that nostalgia guy, but what we had back then, I feel like is so much better than what we have now currently. Like, I don't look at packs of cards from today's players at all. It's not because I don't like today's players. I love modern baseball. I'm a Red Sox guy. Hopefully we can make the playoffs this year. I want simplicity. There's too much. I couldn't imagine doing a Jim Gilliam playing days run now.
No, it'd be like doing try and do an Ohtani run. How many cards does he have? Or a Bobby Wood Jr. or
thousands.
Yeah.
And then it's like most of these cards are priced out. Like I was saying, I'm a Luka Doncic fan. I'm never going to get an autographed Luka Doncic card because that card starts off with a 2 and then a comma.
Right.
Like it's not feasible to me. But then it's so funny and weird when I go to the card shows and I see this little 15-year-old whippersnapper standing next to me. He pulls out a meat roll like he's a 1930s gangster or something like
Yes, I
that.
know.
I mean, like, dude, where in the world you get all this money from? Nothing but blue hundreds. Are you a rapper or something? Where is this coming from?
I got a great. I love it. So my youngest daughter, like I said, she's a senior in college right now. Last summer, I convinced her to go to one of the small local card shows with me, and she went with me. And the one thing that struck her is the 13 and 14-year-old boys running around with a stack of cash, and he would open up the case and he would take out a card, and I'd look at my daughter and say, "Yeah, that's about an $800 card." And she's like, "Where do these kids get this money?" She said, "I'm 21 years old and I'm eating mac and cheese at college." So,
like, I have to, and if you guys are watching, if you have a chance, I have this great. My wife is phenomenal and fantastic, and she does the mailbox unopenings with me. It's a part of my thing. I don't want to open without her because it's fun, and she's embraced the hobby with me, or embraced letting me do it, and go off on these adventures and trips out of state for card shows and stuff. Let me tell you this though. Until I am more financially off and bills are paid, she's never, ever, ever going to let me go and spend those kinds of funds on a single card.
right,
Okay.
right.
Never, ever.
Well, the
Never,
reality is,
ever.
reality needs to come first. It is a hobby, right?
Correct.
Bills need to get paid. Family needs to get taken care of. So
Correct.
you do but the great thing about this hobby is you can still do it and not have to spend that kind of money and have a blast doing it. That's what's perfect
Correct.
about it.
And somebody just said we're in the junk era. We absolutely are in the junk era. And I hate that because these guys don't deserve to be in what was the junk era of the early 90s, the 80s, and stuff like that. But it is. I
Yeah.
mean, you have 100 one-on-ones. And then on top of the one-on-ones, there's the one-on-ones that come with a patch and the one-on-ones that come with the autograph. And then there's the one-on-ones that come with the patch and the autograph. And then there is, there's the red tiger stripe or the retro blue vinyl or the laser card, the pink laser, the red laser, the white laser, the tiger laser. Like,
Yep.
what?
It is the manufactured scarcity of today's society. Because they're overprinting the heck out of it and they got to make some money on it, they manufacture that scarcity 50 times over so that it's not scarce anymore. So that's how it works.
And then once again, guys, like I said at the very beginning, it all comes back to 20, 30 years from now, nobody's going to want those cards.
Right.
Nobody's going to want them. There is no card that coming out today in 2025 that is going to be more collectible than a 1956 Jim Gilliam.
Or a Mickey Mantle, or a Willie Mays, right.
Never. And it could be a high value. It could be Mookie Betts. It could be Shohei. It could be Mike Trout. It could be Gunnar Henderson or Clayton Kershaw or one of these other big name baseball players. Okay, it could be any one of those guys. It could be Paul Skeens. Yeah. It won't matter because the product that their stuff is in now just does not hold the value. They're not made to hold the value.
No,
and that is
because they print so much of it. That's the problem.
I mean, it's sad. It really is sad. Like, I look forward to going to the card shows this year and starting to chip away at the 64 set, chipping away at that and chipping away. And then boom, eventually I got all 64. Let's go to 60. And let's go to 56. Let's get all this stuff done. That's fun.
That's fun stuff.
Over how difficult it is to pull a one. And you know what? I've never pulled a one. That is something I want to do in life. I want to pull a superfractor, a gold vinyl 101. That is what I want to do. But to get the ones that are worth getting, like, what is the best tops product right now in baseball? Is it Dynasty?
I think the super expensive products. I think the mainstream product that still costs a little bit of money is Topps Chrome is kind of what's become the modern mainstream set. Topps Chrome is, but beyond that, you can get into the logo fractors and different set. You got Cosmic. They've just spun so much off, and I collect modern, Cory. I love it, but basically I collect just base stuff, and I just enjoy collecting players. For modern, I do player runs or guys I enjoy watching play, and then I collect some of that.
Ball Card Adventures, the shop here in Indy, he did a video last week of a guy opening 2 boxes of baseball cards. And I put in the comments, like, how much are each of these boxes go for? And somebody said the boxes were $3,500 a box, and it was like 8 cards.
Jeez. Yeah, those are those crazy super duper sets that come in like suitcases, and I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah. A gentleman that has asked if I am a set collector. I'm a Jim Gilliam player run collector first. Yeah. Are you a set collector? But I will be doing the 1956, the 1960 tops, and the 1964 tops. Starting with 64 and working my way back to 56. That's
Very
what
cool.
that's what I want to do. I think that's the more financially stable one to do first.
Right.
The 56 mantle that's my favorite mantle. I like that one more than 52. 51 Bowman mantle is super nice as well.
I have the and so does Sam. We both have the 56. I want the 53 Bowman. I love the 53 Bowman. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful mantle card.
Yes, it is. And somebody said 3,500. You can buy it. Yeah, I know $3,500.
Probably
I know for a fact if every Jim Gilliam card was available to purchase, like just not even graded, just raw, I probably could get all his cards for $1,000.
Sure.
All of them for $1,000. I probably couldn't do that with very many players, but I know I could get all his cards raw for $1,000. And if it gets to being graded, then okay, the price is going to go up a little bit, but it's still not going to be $3,500. Okay, right. $3,500 is a very, very nice Mickey Mantle card, a very nice Willie Mays, a very nice Hank Aaron. Or you want to go back, that is a couple of very nice T206 cards, a couple nice Babe Ruth Gowdy cards. Like, it's just ridiculous to spend that much money on a modern product in my eyes.
Yeah, and that's the vintage collector's way, right? That's how I feel the same way. I don't spend my money on modern. I enjoy collecting modern, but it's on the cheap. And occasionally, and 90% of my channel is vintage, but occasionally my last video was modern, just because I had a blast digging through it and kind of going through the stuff. So
yeah, that it's just weird to see it. I wonder how when people that are younger in the hobby, how they're going to go about. Don't forget my guy Frank Robinson, rookie. Yeah, I mean that's another guy that's underrated in the hobby. Honestly,
he's in the Swift meets as well.
Is he?
It's expensive though. The Swift meet that's pricey.
Let's see if I could find let's see on eBay how many Swift Meets cards there are. 57 Swift Meets.
I can pull it.
Since I got mine, I have not tried to look for any other one. All right. Gil McDougal, PSA 5. That's less than what I spent.
There's a Billy Pierce. There's a Billy Pierce, Jason. And a Nelly Fox. Just saying.
SGC 9.
Don't be buying it, Sammy, and bringing it to Strongsville.
Richie Ashburn in a 6. The guy wants almost $400 for it. You're drunk.
There's a Nelly Fox, Billy Pierce. I see the Billy Pierce.
Johnny Logan PSA 10.
I should at least do my due diligence and put this on the screen. So let me do that.
Yeah, we're all looking at our computers and phones while we're talking.
There you go.
Like this Johnny Logan PSA 10. What is this? Like, here's what I want to know. How is that a PSA 10 and mine's a 6? Because what is, like, that was one thing I wondered when I got this back and when I got my Topps tattoo back. How does one card get graded differently, but yet they were the exact same, nothing else is different?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question that a lot of people have with the inconsistency of PSA in general.
Very much so. Very much so. Nelly Fox PSA 8 480. Okay, I can get that one.
There's one for Scott, Rocky Colavito, or for Warren D.
I need his image variation for the 62 Aurora Vision test set, and that's like $150.
Really?
You know, it'll be him and the Jim Gentile will be the more expensive than the mantle variation.
Yeah. How about this one? This panel 6 with Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson for 1900.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a lot of them actually available.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. Like when I looked at it, I was stunned by that actually.
Hank Aaron SGC 5. They want 2500. Just about.
There's a bunch. I didn't think there would be that many.
I didn't think there would be either. I haven't looked in 6 months, 7 months.
I mean, I'm not seeing a Frank Robinson. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's in there with the panel 6. So I guess it's one lot. Yeah. That's a hell of a lot of money.
Is there a maze in this, Sammy?
No, otherwise I'd be all over that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you not?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
Believe me, I've done my my research into what's like what's in every set.
When did the Giants move across the country?
Was it 50? God. Was it after
56?
56, 57, I want to say.
So they moved the same time Brooklyn did then.
Brooklyn went in 58. 58 was their first year as the Dodgers.
Okay.
They moved up to 57.
So hold on. Were the Mets in New York at the same time too?
No, Mets didn't come around till 60, whatever.
61, 62.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, did New York have 4 baseball teams at one time?
No.
They had 3.
They had 3.
They had 3 at least.
Yeah, the Mets didn't come around to 60, and by then, Giants were gone and Brooklyn were gone. So it was just the Yankees and them. For a short time, there was only one team. It was only the Yankees, right? If I'm not mistaken. There's a gap of just the Yankees.
Very small gap.
Yeah.
And the Mets played at the Polo Grounds for early on.
The history of baseball, when you get into researching these players and looking at their stats, and this is something that Ken Ditmore said to me in his research, how surprised Jim Gilliam has never had one single vote for the Hall of Fame.
That's
a player that's had his number retired by the Dodgers, and before Fernando Valenzuela, God rest his soul, passed away, and when he had his jersey retired, he was the only Dodgers player to have his number retired that wasn't in the Hall of Fame. And he was a part of 7 teams that went to the World Series. He won 4 of them. He won a World Series in Brooklyn. That alone, and then everything else that he did, the NL Rookie of the Year, a multiple-time All-Star, but he's just a guy that did so much for his team. Like, he played in so many positions across the field. He was a guy that won so many games with them. He's in like 4 of Sandy Koufax's no-hitters.
That's crazy.
Like, the fact that the man, yes, if Jim Gilliam, I pray with this book that Steve put out, and let me show you guys one more time if you guys are just not joining us. If Jim gets into the Hall of Fame or receives, for some reason, the baseball commissioner says, you know what, this guy's been forgotten for too long. He was a great for the game. He was a very important part of Dodger history. He's a very important part of Negro League baseball history because he was a Negro League baseball player and a very good one during his time. He deserves to be in. I will be at the ceremony and I will be tears coming down. Never knew the man. He passed away 10 years before I was born. Like, that is, I just love reading about his journey, reading about the things that he did in his life, seeing how close he was to his teammates. I'm so glad that people are getting the opportunity to learn more about him, just like I am, because for 35 years I know who this guy was.
Yeah, right.
and I've been a big baseball fan for close to 20 years by the time I knew about him. I mean, you know about Jackie Robinson, you know about Sandy Koufax, you know about Pee Wee Reese, you know about Duke Snyder, you know about those guys. But if you didn't know or didn't read the full Boys of Summer, you wouldn't know about Jim Gilliam. And if you are a baseball historian, you definitely wouldn't know about him.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, he's just become another guy. Third most World Series games played by Dodgers. See, there you go.
He has over just over 2,000 hits in his career.
He didn't hit a lot of home runs.
He wasn't a power hitter, but he I mean, performed his role beautifully.
What's his WAR, Sammy?
I think it's in the 40s, 20s or 40s.
50, almost 50?
Yeah, just under 50. 1,255 runs, 625 RBIs, 219 stolen bases, on base percentage of 360. So, I mean, the guy who gets on base, that's pretty good.
I think he hit from both sides.
Was he a
Of
switcher?
the plate? I believe so. That was something that he learned.
Yeah, he did bat both.
League.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember here. He I want to say like the first without cheating, looking at the back of one of his cars, seeing the stats. I want to say like his first 6 or 7 years in the league, he had over 100 hits, either 100 hits or 100 RBIs every season.
He had from 1953 all the way to literally 10 years. He had over 100 hits.
Yeah.
Never anything less. And then 64, he had 76 hits, but he didn't play. He must have gotten hurt at some point. Later in his career, he's slowed down a little bit.
Well, when he got into the league, because at the time the Dodgers would have called him up sooner, but no problem, buddy, no problem. Yes, it has to be a historical factor in the stats. Has to be. He, at the time, the Dodgers had Jackie. They had Lou Campanella. They had, oh my God, there's another guy. It was a pitcher.
Don Newcomb.
They felt like they of course they knew they were trailblazers. They just didn't know how far they could push it, which is just so unbelievably sad. There's a book. Let me get it over here. Black Baseball in Living Color. If either you gentlemen or anybody out there have an opportunity to get this book, I highly, highly recommend it. A very easy read, but it's full of great stories about Negro League players of the day and how it's basically these guys, these individuals ended up breaking down integration of baseball. Breaking the color barrier, and it wasn't just everything was we're just going to have Jackie Robinson be the first. No, it was something that happened over time, over decades and decades. Because there were people in the 1920s that wanted to get. Yes, Greg is a phenomenal artist. There were people in the 1920s that were trying to get it baseball integrated, and it just fell through. The story behind so many of these guys, the story of Josh Gibson even, is incredible. And it's so sad that not only did these guys not get to play, but the guys that did get to play, most of them didn't get their true recognition till long after they're gone. I was blown away after I'm reading the pages about Satchel Paige, okay? How he was so dominant of a pitcher and like he wasn't given his just due until late in his career. Then he gets to be one of the few, I think he may have been, no, I think Jackie Robinson was the first African American in the Hall of Fame.
And then Larry Doby.
Larry Doby. And I want to say Satchel was right after those guys. And
I don't know where he came in order. Dan would probably know, but I know he was pretty early on. Dobie came in like a month and a half after Jackie and the American League side.
And Satchel Paige was still alive when he got into the Hall of Fame. That was the thing I was so proud to see. It's like a guy of his stature that did so much for the game, being able to make it to that pinnacle. Because I feel for guys that don't make it. Like Jim passed away in 1978 before he turned 50 years old. If he gets into the Hall of Fame, he was never seen it.
Right.
He didn't. The Dodgers retire his number after he passed away. Like that is, and he was one of their coaches at the time. They were getting ready to go into the World Series.
Dan said, yeah. Were we talking about Dobie being the second player integrated or into the Hall of Fame?
Or into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke then. He's right.
You're good.
I misspoke.
But the journey of these guys is just so incredible to me. And it's so sad that they didn't get the recognition that they deserve, that they worked hard for until long after they're gone.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I originally wanted to go out and get every first African American player with a team. And I was like, you know what? That means I have to get a 47 leaf.
There's a couple guys doing that. Is old Sarge doing that? There's a couple collectors who are kind of trying to dig into that a little bit.
It's possible to be done. It's just, man, that 47 leaf. Let's see what the cheapest 47 leaf Jackie Robinson is now.
Oh, 49 leaf? 40,
I thought it was 47. 49.
49.
Okay. I have no clue. Like I said, I don't search his stuff. 1800.
Is it the yellow one with just the portrait? The 49? Yeah. 1800 is cheap. That's cheap, actually.
Very cheap. Very cheap. 3,300.
Yeah, that sounds
22,
more about
29. Yeah, it's very tough. Okay, yeah. 48 leaf Jackie Robinson, 4,500.
Yeah.
48 PSA 1.5, $7,000. 1.5, 9,500.
That sounds more like it. Yeah, that sounds about right.
SGC 2, 9,000. Like, or oh my God. SGC 7.5. Want to take a guess?
35. More? 7.5? SGC 7.5?
Yes.
250?
10 times that.
200.
750,000.
Jeez. He's asking that, right? I mean, it doesn't mean he's going to get it.
No, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. And that's the thing. When you go to card shows and you see these guys with all these great cards, Paris Steel, I don't believe so. Some of my favorite ones, thank you. When you go to these card shows and you see these guys with these huge tables and they have all these great cards right here. They have 20 Mantles and Jackies and Willie Mays and Hank Aaron's and everybody you would want. And then it's 2 numbers and then a comma. And then the 3 numbers behind. I'm like, who is going to these card shows and buying this stuff?
I think I could rattle off a few names. I could rattle off a few names of guys who are buying that stuff.
But I'm
not one of them.
Every show, I'm like, oh my God, like I just cannot. And granted, those guys, they probably spend, if they sell 1 card, maybe 2 cards, they probably made their money for the show. But I'm like, I just cannot imagine sitting on that for so long. I collected the first Black and Hispanic players. Hats off to you, man. Hats off to you.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right,
I wanted to do the same thing with NBA or NFL. It's just not possible with those guys, unfortunately. How baseball, how it goes back and everybody had a card for 60, 70 years ago. It's just so much easier to do first like that. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but man, this has been fun and exciting, guys. I showed Jim cards off. I had, let's see here.
So we'll finish off on just more showcasing of some cards that you have.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Like I said, I just what is it? I'm waiting on. I have 62, 63 post serial.
Love those.
The
Love them.
61. What did they say? What did PSA say? This is one of the sillier things PSA said. Let's see here. PSA hand cut altered.
Right. It's a hand cut card.
But this is a 60-year-old card. What do you mean altered? And I think it's because it's I don't know if it's kind of a crease here at the corner. Maybe you can see it in the back a little bit better.
So typically what has to happen with those, Cory, in order to get a number, there was a dotted or a solid black line around the card when people were cutting it out of the box. That line needs to be prevalent in order to even get a number. So otherwise it's just going to get authenticated. Like this one here, here's my Don Drysdale. It's if you look on the left edge, it's cut, it's shredded on the one side. This would never get a grade. It would just simply be authentic.
Yeah, and these two were both graded authentic. So
yeah, that's typically most hand cut cards, and you can go back to pre-war. A lot of them are just as long as they're authentic, I'm good with it. I don't care about that
anything that I don't have graded by PSA that is going to the stat registry. What I'm doing, I have a 61. It's on its way. I think this one may be graded as well, so that was even better for me. Anything that's not graded that gets sent back, I'm going to send it in the SEC. My another car, and this was one, the golden stamp one right here. I can't believe, and this is another thing. It's so funny, but because it's the top edge there. If you can see that, it's kind of like
nicked.
This messed up. Where is this card at? Yes. So this set, and as I drop it, thank you PSA having strong cases.
I love Matt's comment. It's a slog. Matt is a slave to the registry as well.
Yeah. 61, 62, and 63.
Bell brands.
Yeah.
These cards right here were so freaking hard to get.
Great images. Fantastic images on the Bell brands.
I went to one guy's booth and 2 2s and 1 4. I went to one guy's booth at the National. And once you get into those odd ones, it becomes very hard to find these cards. And this guy had one, and he wanted so much more over what. Like, dog, I know. And there's some cards I would try to get online, but I like to go to shows that give me something to search for and find.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when you're in the National, there's no cell service. There's no cell service.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you're at the mercy almost of this guy, but this guy, he wanted like $120 for a car I knew I could get for like 40. Like, come on, man, work with me here. But I was able to work him down some to like I think 80, but that was still way too much. I may have been the 4. Then I go to one guy's booth. He has everything I need. Oh man, good. Yes, let me get this. They're home. What you doing there? I'm getting this card. That's not for sale. What do you mean it's not for sale? It's right here. No, that's a full set or a full set.
Yeah. Yep.
That's heartbreaking.
He ain't breaking the set.
And I don't blame him because those sets are hard to build. Hard to build. And I just had to say, hey, go Bison, love the shirt. Yeah, this is my brother. He's like a brother to me, not a real brother, but he's like a brother to me. He was a part of 4 national championships, so I got some gears here.
Very cool.
So, yeah, they just won a national championship this past January, so I'm still a fan.
That's North Dakota State, right? Yeah.
Yep. He played. He actually had a tryout and played in for the Colts in a couple preseason games this year.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Very cool. Let me see here. But yeah, those Bell brand cards are hard to find. These post serial cards were hard to find because like I keep going to different tables And some of these vintage collectors are great talks to. And some will recognize me because I come around. I have my signature cowboy hat on. All right, it's how people recognize me, man.
Right, right.
I'm the black guy with the white cowboy hat at the show. So oh yeah, you came back here. I think I got something for you here. Some of these guys recognize me, and oh man, I'm sorry. I think I just sold my last Gilliam. I just like these post serial cards were not easy to come by. Most of these cards I have, some of them, these team cards right here, like the 56 Topps team card, I think I got from like one booth. And I was there for like 20, 30 minutes going through everything he had of the 50s to the 60s. Let me get that one, let me get that one, let me get that one.
Well, those team cards get expensive at 56 and lower because of who's on it besides him. So it gets a little pricey.
Yeah. And I think these are cool too. The 60 Leaf.
Yeah, I love that set. Black and white set, phenomenal set. There's I'm looking at an Aparicio for about $40. It's a nice card.
There's I'm happy. This is a collection that it's I can't tell you exactly where I got every card, but for most of them I remember, and I have a story to tell.
Yes.
I can tell you, how hard it was to hunt down one specific rookie card for 8 hours. Finally finding it, or no, I found one that one person had, and he wanted way too much, and it had a crease in it, and it was a tear in it as well, and he still wanted way too much. No, I go 2 tables over, find the exact card I want. Guy works the deal for me. SGC authentic.
Wow.
Like it's stuff like that. Like in this hobby, the journey, and this is the reason why I call myself True Card Adventures. All right, because this is all an adventure that I'm on personally. I did not know who Jim Gilliam was before January 1st, 2023.
Sure.
Now, February, no, what is it? What's today's day? March 6th, 2025. I'm one of the 5 biggest Jim Gilliam collectors in the country.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fantastic.
Like I've learned so much about this gentleman. Like I was number 6 or 7 to finish his PSA base set. I'm number 2 on his master set right now. Thank you for the hat. Appreciate it. Got that in Dallas. I just do, the chase is part of the fun, and like I look forward to going and looking to build a full set of 1964 and 56 and 60, and then eventually after that, I don't know, baseball wise, what I may do. I won't do another player run. I will not do another player run because it's just it's as I'm seeing all this stuff out here, and we've gone, oh yeah, there's an armor card here, and there's a Solana card here, and oh yeah, I know a guy that may have one down the road there. Look, it drives me absolutely insane, but once again, it's part of the journey. But it's a journey I don't want to go back on. Okay.
Right.
It's like that Crazy X, man. It was fun while it lasted,
but now I'm done.
Yes. Okay.
Now I'm done.
And now I'm done. So eventually, I look to do. Get all Wayne Gretzky's cards with the Oilers in the 80s. Do a Walter Payton 80s and maybe 70s run set. There's a Walter Payton and O.J. Simpson card I want to get as well. I think that was pretty cool.
I've got one of him and his brother on the card, Eddie Payton.
Really?
Yeah, because Eddie played for the Vikings.
His autobiography, or not autobiography, the God dang it, what is the name of this book? Is probably the greatest biography on any player I've ever read. Walter Payton book. Who is it by? Walter Payton, An Enigmatic Life, Jeff Pearlman. Jeff Pearlman's Walter Payton book. Don't buy anything else. Buy that one.
I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar.
It's the greatest. It details everything about his life. He should have won the Heisman over the guy from Ohio State that won it twice.
Oh, Archie Griffith.
Yes, he should have won the Heisman over him. That's how phenomenal he was. But they wouldn't give him the love he deserved because he was playing at Jackson State and Archie was at Ohio.
Small school. Yep. My favorite football player of all time, for the record, Cory.
I wish I was old enough to have seen him play, but as a Bears fan, I respect and love him so much that it has to be done.
Yeah.
But there's one other thing I'm working on. Like I said, I've talked about hockey. I'm working on, and I hope to debut this video in time for the NHL playoffs. But it's basically the NHL 50-50 player set. And so far, from all the research I've done, there are, in 50-50, what I mean by that is players that have scored 50 goals and 50 assists in a single season.
Yeah.
And there aren't nearly as many as you would think there are.
I'll bring it back.
I want to say I have a list of like less than 70 players, and it's all the years that they did it. So you have Gretzky's rookie card, which once again is another card
Right.
I did. But then it's like guys like Mike Bossy, Michael Goulet, Yari Curry, Mario Lemieux, Luc Robitaille, just a whole amount of Hall of Famers and stuff that's in this set that I, as part of my journey in this hobby, I want to learn more about these great players that aren't talked about. Steve Yzerman, Pat LaFontaine.
Oh, Yzerman and Robitaille were phenomenal players. They're fantastic players.
And then there are guys like
Patrick Kane might be on that list from the Hawks.
No, he's not.
He didn't do it?
No.
Bobby Hull is, right? Bobby's gonna be on that. No, really? Wow.
Nope. Bobby Hull is not. There are some names I thought would have been on here, but there just aren't. There are guys that came close to doing it, but were like 40 goals and then 70 assists.
Right.
Or there's guys that did it once and never did it again.
Right.
And then I go from the lockout season of 2012-13 to 17-18. Nobody does it.
Wow.
Yeah, Phil Esposito did it. Phil Esposito did it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 times. Guy Lafleur did it a bunch of times.
Yes.
Of course, I think Gretzky did the most. My favorite player, Leon Draisaitl, is about 8 goals away. 8 points away right now. He needs 5 goals and 3 assists to do it for like the 5th time in his career.
Wow.
Connor McDavid's only done it once.
But he hadn't been playing that long, McDavid, right? I mean,
McDavid and Draisaitl are just a year apart.
Oh, are they really? Okay.
Yep, just a year apart. Leon was a year before, and then Connor was a year after. So yeah, it's I have a very diverse part of my hobby because I see what's going on and what I'm chasing here with Jim's cards. Like I said, I've have just about everything except for the super extreme rare oddball stuff. If I come across a Dania, I'm probably going to try and spend every bit of money that I can to get it.
Right.
Because it's one of those things where it's so super rare. Like it's something that I want. It's something that I need. But really after that, then what?
Right. What's the next step? That's what
exactly.
Right.
Like, Sammy, what's the next Willie Mays or God dang, why can I not Seaver card that you want?
Well, the Maze, I'm actually looking at a golden auction right now that's going on. There's a Hires Root Beer Maze with the tab included.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye on it right now. The Seaver I'm kind of content with. I think at the moment, I'm trying to think if there's any other Seaver really that I'm after right now, and I can't really think of anything else at the moment. So it's, but I'm trying to remain disciplined, and I'm shifting my focus over to more Mathewson stuff. So,
Your
Yeah.
Christy Matheson stuff is incredible. That one that's like it's not a card, it's like a sheet.
Oh, the silk.
Oh,
Yeah.
the silk. Yeah.
Yeah. See if I
I don't
can.
know how you found that. When you at first debuted that, I'm like, where did you find this?
Yeah, I'll pull it. I think I can get access to it right now. Let me see if I can pull it out.
Might be a couple at Strongsville, not necessarily Christie, but there's a couple. There, you might see one or two of them at Strongsville.
Strongsville's Ohio, right?
Yes, sir. It's just
You're-
outside of Cleveland. God, that is.
You're
beautiful.
referring to this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the silk screen. It's the 1912 S81 Silks. I got this at one of the Garfield, New Jersey shows that I used to set up at, and bought this off a dealer who I've actually bought a lot of stuff off this dealer over periods of time. I bought that off of him. Let me see if I have. I bought the 1921 W516 off of him, the strip card.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
one of the that issue of strip cards is I like those a lot. They're not so cartoony. They're a little. I really like that.
Yeah, and the Pinkerton is also what I bought off of him. The 1913, 1915 Pinkerton I got at the National last year. So it's all off this guy Harry Kolb, who I've developed a good working relationship with. But this one I had to. I was at the show and I saw it, and I had to ask both Orlando and Scott from Stukes some, just to get their input on this, because there really wasn't too many sales, on this, silk sheet. So they've been coming out more though. I've been seeing them.
Of other players or of Christy?
There's tons. Yeah, there's definitely other players. I think there's Walter Johnson, there's Ty Cobb. I mean, there's a bunch of big names. But this one, there's been more sales of the Mathewson as of late.
See, I can only imagine what a Ty Cobb of that goes for.
Oh, forget it. It's a lot.
That's all Cobbs.
Like
the most affordable Cobb. That's a nice image. Is probably his national gain.
Yeah. But I haven't done the video yet, but towards the end of the month, I'll probably do my Mathewson cards I'm aiming for, and we'll go from there. I haven't really done as much research yet, so I'm kind of waiting a little bit.
When you come across another Christy Mathewson super collector, what do they tell? What do they ask? Do they try to make a deal for anything that you have so they can add it to theirs, or is this like, is it like, okay, I know this guy has this, but I'm not even going to go because I know we're like in the same brotherhood.
Yeah, no, I mean, a perfect example of somebody who's a super Christy Mathewson collector is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, and Rick's been doing this far longer, and so I admire what he's collected over the span of many years. But he got something that at a time I really wanted, which was the American die cut, or is it I can't remember what year it's from, but I love die cut stuff.
13, Sammy.
And I love die cut stuff. I mean, you could tell from the 52 Mays, but the Mathewson die cut is special. There's so few out there, and it was being sold or being auctioned on Mile High auctions after the National this past year, and it got to a point where it got too pricey, and if anything, I'm happy that he got it. Somebody from the community got it. So
yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I'm looking at the Strongsville. So that's the weekend of April 11th through the 13th.
Yeah.
My birthday is April 12th, and my wife and I plan on being in the Bahamas on a cruise.
Probably a much better spot.
I'd probably take that.
Yeah.
I was in the Bahamas for Christmas on a cruise with my family. We had a blast.
Yeah, I try to. We every year that first 2 weeks of April, we try to plan a vacation because our wedding anniversary is the 7th. My birthday is the 12th, so we like to try and do something for the two of us during that time. So last year we went to Jamaica. This year the Bahamas. Hopefully in 2 years for our 10th we'll go on a very big one to celebrate that. But it's It's great. I look forward to the national. I look forward to seeing you guys all again.
Yep.
It was fun last year at the meetup, man. It really
Yeah,
was.
well, the three of us got together. Sammy's like, "Do you know Cory?" I said, all three of us were talking to each other.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think I was talking to you, Jason, and I was like, you
right.
know what, man, you look familiar. It's like, yeah, I do videos with Sammy Thunder. It's like, oh, Sammy,
Yeah.
my God.
See, Sammy, I was that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, you're that guy with Sammy. I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy. The
No,
epic man.
it's good. I think what you guys do is very important because when you look at a lot of people in the hobby, there's so much channels dedicated to new and fancy stuff and newer cars and everything else. And what you guys do is, like I said, it's the heart and soul of the hobby. It's going to all eventually come back here. 20 years from now, people are going to be, oh man, I saw this video of Sammy Thunder. He had this Willie Mays car I've never seen before. He was talking about the Beers Root Beer Willie Mays card or the Coca-Cola car. I didn't even know those cars existed. Like, this is stuff that is for historical reference. Somebody's going to use this to track down their own cars for themselves one day. Somebody may use my video that I posted looking for a 60 Jim Gilliam Leaf or looking for a Swift Meats card. Like, it's that kind of stuff that we do, that you guys do, that is important to the hobby because we can't all be talking about the same exact thing.
Right. Exactly right. No, I'm with you on that all day long.
Yeah, I would like to, outside of building sets, just get, I think I want to do, and this is one thing I forget about. I want to try and get at least one T206 back of every back available.
Yeah, doesn't matter who.
Oh, that's
doesn't matter who. Like, I want
some of those backs, regardless of who the player is.
Yeah, the Uzits.
Yeah, the Uzits. Because I wrote it down. What
Old Mill get a little pricey.
Collecting gold
backs aren't cheap either.
That's, you should link up if that's something you want to do. I would link up with some of the T206 guys, like Chris.
And I talked to my guy. I don't know why I can't. I talked to Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Polar Bear, who is probably, he has the coolest tattoos I've ever seen. But yeah, the Uzit, Tolstoy, Sweet Cap, Sovereign, Polar Bear, Piedmont, Oatmeal, Lennox, Hindu, EPDG, Drum, Cycle, Carolina, Broadleaf, and American Beauty. That's something that it doesn't have to be done now, but it can be something that I can work for the next 10 years, 20 years.
Sure. No, that's definitely cool.
Yeah.
I think I only have two T06 cards at the moment. I think they're both Sweet Caps, if I'm not mistaken.
This one handy right now.
Yeah.
It's a Larry Doyle.
Aren't you selling it, Sammy? Were you selling it?
I was, but I decided to keep it.
Okay.
Just because it'll fit. I mean, it's perfect for Mookie because it has a hole in it.
Oh, perfect.
Kind of. Let me see if I can line up my finger.
Yeah, right by his cap.
Yeah, you see how I'm running my finger?
I gotcha.
I had a polar bear and I sold it. So I don't have any at the moment. But for the most part, you go to the right dealer, they aren't nearly, especially when you're just trying to get one of each back, they aren't nearly as hard to get. You just have to know what your budget is and, work with people that you trust. I definitely don't want to get into getting fake stuff as well. I think I will only purchase graded.
There's a ton out there.
Good move.
Yeah.
I can't go without showing.
Yeah, that's a great card.
What year is that one?
That's the 1910 Piedmont 350 Piedmont series. But I bought this off of B. Roth, my buddy Brian.
Sammy, his T205 is climbing up my list. Yeah. Mine's probably gonna be a beater. It ain't gonna be like yours, but his T205 is climbing high on my list.
SGC stuff just looks so good with these. And
that card is gorgeous.
Yeah, that is super nice. Mm-hmm. Super nice.
Yeah, it's going to be more Mathewson at Strongsville and the National, and we'll see how things go.
Yeah. I look forward to getting more. Like I said, the Packard Bell is coming. Hopefully, I'll be able to get these 2 coins here after we're done talking.
That is dangerous,
You know,
man. He's dangerous.
yeah, just growing the hobby, man. Growing the hobby, growing the collection is fun. It is fun. This has been fun. You know, I don't get to talk to very many people in the hobby like this nearly as much as often. So anytime you guys need somebody to fill in, I'm your Huckleberry.
All right. That sounds fantastic.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, man, that's having me on. You guys are legends in the hobby. So yeah.
Shoot, no. I'm just an old man that collects baseball cards.
We all will be one day.
Right.
We all will be one day, man. But no, thank you again, Sammy, for bringing me on and me drop my 53 rookie. But yeah, this I just love the way these SGCs look like.
Oh yeah, in the tux.
You got to finish with the 53. Yeah, finish with the 53.
Yeah,
there it is.
You got to. Rookie of the year, NL Rookie of the Year.
Beautiful.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it, man. It's great. I appreciate you guys having me on once again, man. Thank you.
All right. Cool.
Thank
you so much, Cory. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for participating. As always, please, I've shared the link multiple times. Please go over to Cory's Instagram page, True Card Adventures, and follow him, because go on the journey with him to find some additional cards for his collection. And we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Yeah, next Thursday. Oh, of course, next Thursday is the giveaway announcement, and we're gonna have Scott from Reindeer Studios on. So. And also, yes, for the Jim Gilliam book, The Forgotten Dodger, if you're looking for a book to read, there you go. So.
Another great baseball history book right here. You can never have enough of them in this hobby. So yeah, definitely looking forward to cracking this bad boy open here. It may join me on the beach in Miami in the Bahamas. So
there you go.
Good.
Thank you, gentlemen. Everybody. God bless you guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.